This is a new year. This is a new Don. This is a new you.
Make this the year where you just get started.
The time is now. It's time.
You have to dive in. You have to go after it.
You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're going to do it to try and be the best. Not be better than other people, be the best for you.
Would you like to learn a brand new and innovative way to invest your extra money that has a low barrier to entry and low competition? What if I told you that it is a guaranteed method to get up to 18 to 20% return on your investment? Tax lien and deed purchasing is the only way to get into the real estate market through the back door. No credit and no loans needed. This method isn't commonly taught, and therefore the competition is very low, for now. Put together a 14-hour info-packed course which will teach you everything you'll need to know to get started. Learn at your own pace, step-by-step guided video and aids to start you on the TLC deed investment process. The course offers many learning tools for new investors, helping ensure you safely invest in tax liens and deeds. Contact us today and join the buyback team.
All right. Welcome to Primetime Home Buyers, and you're here with your host, Lashley. I took the name, the Tax Lien Lady. Yes. Today we're going to have a great, amazing, informative live. You know, guys, I usually go the more formal route where we're looking at PowerPoints and going into, particular subjects. But today we're going to kind of keep it diverse. We're going to talk about how to profit from tax lien investments. So you know what I do, I start from the beginning and kind of break it down to you guys, to the ones who are new to investing in tax liens. They're saying, how can I get started? What does this mean? Is this a scam? And all of that. So we're going to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. We're also going to go into, I'm going to give y'all a little sneak peek on how to do your due diligence, because the subtitle is what should you know about transferring the tax lien property. Now, transferring the tax lien property does not only mean that the county is transferring the property from the owner to, themselves to be sold in some capacity. But at some point, you as the investor has to know what route you need to take to transfer the property into your name to close the deal. So to do that, you have to do some of your due diligence. And that's some of the things that we teach you in our course, the Primetime Home Buyers Buyback Team educational course. So what we're going to do is show you some of those skills. We're going to look into 2 states. I'm going to see just 2 different states just to compare and contrast to you guys the difference, because we go over all the states here. We're going to go into later on, we're going to go into Iowa and Louisiana. We're just going to go into one county, just look at their laws, their regulation, because the county give regulations and the state gives the law. You remember that, right? Okay, so we're going to do that. So this is going to be an action-packed live, okay? We got some time today. So we're going to be doing Iowa, a flashback of Iowa and Louisiana. And the reason why I chose that, because Iowa is a tax lien state and Louisiana is a hybrid tax deed state. What does that mean? So we're going to talk about that. If you have not seen these particular states that we do give detail on, which is Iowa and Louisiana, that is located not only on our website. You don't have to go to the website. You can go to YouTube. We have a membership. So we're going to go into the membership, show you the different ways that you can access our content, the different ways you can access it free, because I got it all over the place, pretty much free street. But you know how I do. All right. So let's get to it. I want to start off by talking about how the property is transferred to or get into the tax assessor hands. So we already know that what happens is a homeowner, usually without an active mortgage, okay? And if they do have an active mortgage, we do address that. But a homeowner has always have taxes on their particular property. And that is, if those taxes are not paid, the county have a particular amount of time to, put those people on notice and move forward to put a lien on their particular home. Okay, it's not a levy, it's a lien. These are some of the concepts that we talk about in the program, as well as we offer a directory and a small glossary, because every different sector have their own way of talking and lingo, and tax liens and tax deeds, and actually real estate has their own lingo. So we have that. So we know that it's going to be a lien placed on the property, not a levy. So that lien, they will take that and auction that particular property off at the tax sale. Now, we know every different state have their own time that they do their tax sale. Sometimes they do it yearly, sometimes they do it monthly. As we did our state to state breakdown, we broke down the difference. Georgia does it monthly, the first Tuesday every month. Let's see, Iowa right here, they said they do it, I can't remember everything off the top of my head, but they do it yearly in March. Okay. So this is why we have a directory. So whatever state that you are interested in, you can start to do your due diligence and try to get your foot on the ground before you even start to invest. So that's how we start to get an idea of what properties are going to be on the tax lien sale. So we already know we're going to pick our particular state. And just to backtrack, the first thing you need to do is pick, do you want a tax lien or invest in a tax deed? Today, we're going to be focusing on tax lien for this short purpose for right now until we talk about the separate states. But tax lien is different from a tax deed. So when I say a levy, we're talking about, a lien, we're talking about tax liens. And a levy is a deed, okay? That levy gets to confiscate the home and transfer it to you at the time that you purchase it, okay? So those are the two differences between the tax lien and the tax deed. If you don't understand, we do have a video that breaks that down for you too. Now, we chose our state. We're like, hey, I'm going to talk about Georgia. Let's talk about Georgia. So Georgia in itself, they do their tax lien sales every month. Now, when they do it every month, this cuts your time to do your due diligence. This is why I like to take my time and look into yearly tax sale states first. Me as a new investor, when I was a new investor, that's what I did. So I always suggest you guys what I have done. Okay, I go in slow. I take my time. I don't like to be the biggest loser, so I have to be very cautious. But I did choose a state like Maryland, which was a yearly tax lien sale. And the benefit of dealing with Maryland was they had over the counter, which made it more passive for me. Okay, so in that particular time, you're able to actually start looking for the tax lien list. Now, let me give you an example. If you're in Georgia, and Georgia does it monthly, usually their tax lien list will be available about 2 to 3 weeks before that tax lien sale. We teach you how to kind of go in and look for the homes that would be available prior to this tax lien sale being the list being out in the public. And we know we can do that through the general newspaper. Okay, you start to get an idea of how many properties is going to be on the tax lien list, because they have to make those public announcements. So now, okay, we are doing our due diligence. Okay, you're looking into the property. This is where our course come in. Our course teach you how to do your due diligence, where you're going to pick 4 or 5 properties that you are possibly interested in your type price range, what you're looking for. So that all involves, what type of property are you looking for? What type of investor do you want to be? Do you want to end up with property? Do you want to have a home on that property? Do you want land? I like land, as I told you. I don't have time for the headache right now. I don't want to be a landlord. The market's all over the place. So I opt to do land, but you need to know how to identify that on the list. So we teach you how to identify what's land, what's property, where are they located. Some of the harder things to look for when you're investing in tax liens and tax deeds is locating the property, especially if the property does not have an address. Okay. And a lot of the properties that don't have homes don't have an address. So we teach you how to do that. We teach you how to look into the GIS map. We have a particular seminar just for people who are already up and going in their investment practice. They like, hey, I already know the basis. I know how to look up the property. I know how to do my soft title search, what we call a soft title search. That's something we'll explain to you in a little while. But I need to know how to look for this property because it has no address. So we have a course, or not even a course, a seminar that highlights in detail how to use GIS maps. And that's a general approach because each state has their own GIS maps. Each county may have their own GIS maps. Some of them are located on their website. Some of them are not. So that's some of the things we show you if you are part of the membership and you go to the state to state video. We'll go into where you can look at some of the properties. Okay. When we state to state, I either show you the law to find a law, how to find some properties, or some aspect of your due diligence. I don't just run down the basis of, what you need to know for the state if you ever watch those videos. So now we're looking for me. Okay. Now I would say I'm going to be looking for, okay, you want to know too if you're looking for redeemable properties or properties that you're going to have possession over. What does that mean? Redeemable properties are the actual properties that that you're going to get your money back. You did your due diligence. You know that there's not a lot of liens on this property, not a lot of hands on this property, and you know that this property owner will pay. How do you determine that? Well, we have a little trick that we always talk about, and I always just give all my secrets. When you see a particular property that has kind of about the same description and address, and it has the same owner, you may want to look into that property to be redeemable. Hint: I'm not going to tell you everything because I tell y'all that secret all the time, and if you don't know it, I'm sorry. It'll help you get redeemable properties. We do teach that throughout the whole course. Now, with that goes to say, I picked 5 properties that I'm interested in, and the tax sale is in 2 weeks. I have 2 weeks to do my due diligence. Due diligence means each property, I want to find out about the homeowner. So I'm going to start at the tax assessor level to get as much information as possible, identifying the parcel number, homeowner number, assessed value on the tax assessor level, because that'll be different versus the fair market value, especially if it's a home on there. The tax assessed taxes are different from what you can expect back. So you're going to keep that in mind. We also talk about how to price those properties, okay, when you're ready to sell them. When I was a new investor, that was something that I was a little confused about. Now I'll look at the tax assessor website and they say, hey, this property is valued $5,000, the land. So I'm like, Dag, I only can sell it for $5,000. That's not too bad. The taxes, back taxes was about $500. I did my little closure. But then when I talked to an actual realtor, and that's why I said expand your list, have connections, let's be friends with everyone, share information. I found out from the realtor that particular piece of land was worth more because it was buildable. It was in an area that was building up. And if I even just put a little work into it, I could have tripled and doubled the value. So with that goes to say, educate. Never stop. Okay. Never stop educating yourself. I think I started. Ooh, did I go live? I'm sorry, y'all. I hope I went live on Facebook. Hold on one second, y'all. I think I wasn't able to. I just started going in. Give me 1 second because just want to make sure that I am on IG because I never went live. Something happened. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm just going to I maybe most likely I'm going to have to upload it because I just know something said check. And I noticed that it wasn't streaming on IG. So I will upload this live on IG when I'm done. Okay. So thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate you guys. If you like the information, let me know. I'm just running off the top of my head. This is how much I love tax lien, tax deed investments. I literally just run it, just talking. I didn't even get through my first paper yet. But with that goes to say now we have our 5 properties that we're interested in. We're doing our due diligence and we're doing our soft title search. This is what tax lady Lashley calls doing your due diligence. This is not a legal term, which is doing a soft title search. A title search is a title search that's done by a title company. But because I know the process, as far as the basis of doing it, I teach you guys. So you want to go in and find the records that's related to that property. You want to cross-reference to see what type of deed is actually in the recorder's office. Next week, we were going to be going into deeds and transferring deeds, okay? And that's going to catapult us back into law a little bit so you can know how to transfer these properties into your name or what is expected on a general level. So with that goes to say, while you're looking in the recorder's office and you're looking at the history of the home, you're looking at the birth certificate, everybody who owned the home, the transfer, and you want to go back at least 60 years. And it's not that hard to do it. All of this is public information. When you're going back, you're just looking for key things within the documents, like owner to owner transfer, meaning that if one person bought it this time, that's going to be the person that's going to sell next time. You don't want another name there. That means that something is missing in the record. So we teach you about those things when we go into the soft title search section. We have in the particular full course a title search, soft title search section. I want to clarify this because someone asked this. We have a seminar that's a soft title search. Okay, it's a seminar. But because we couldn't make the course so long, 14 hours is long, we wanted you to be able to digest it. It's a little different from the seminars. The seminars are more high value for people who are pretty not experts, people who just need a little bit more, talk through it. Here, Lashley talk a little bit, show you some resources. So in that soft title search seminar, it's much detailed. There's probably 8 videos, much longer than what's inside the course. Just to give you a heads up, 8 videos of 45 minutes, and it's breaking it down, where to go, how to look. So we looked at on the assessor level, we're looking on the recorder's level. Now we're going to go do our due diligence and go deeper. Yes, I know it seems like, oh man, that's a lot for 5 properties. But once you're able to do this process, it's going to be very easy. You're going to have all your resources already up, especially if you're working in one county and not multiple counties at one time. Just take your time, ace one county, then move to the next one. Just add, you can build on your portfolio like that, but not, everywhere at one time. I don't recommend that. So while you're doing that, you're using the same resources, the same tax assessor's office, the same recorder's office where you're getting all this information. Maybe, hopefully, everything is online. Most of the time, everything is online, especially after COVID. I have learned this industry in and out, and it has advanced. That's why over the last 5 years of investing in tax lien, I kept telling people this is about to be a doozy. People are about to get into it. It's about to be high volume, and that's what's starting to happen. So I'm glad I have this course available for people who are interested, who are actually locked out the real estate market via the conventional way, because a lot of us are locked out the market. Okay. So with that goes to say, we're doing our soft title search. I think I gave you a good amount of information about that, but there is more steps that you can use. You can find out if the person has bankruptcy. You can find out if they have heirs, if they have a will, if they have court matters that's connected to them that may create a lien on the home. I give you examples of that. Lashley got in trouble one time, almost got something connected to a home. I told y'all that story, very transparent. It was like, well, we're going to just make it an ordinance. And if I didn't pay the ordinance, it would have been a lien on my home. Okay. So that's some of the things you can look for when doing your due diligence. That is to also eliminate some of the risk factors. As I mentioned, part of your due diligence is seeing the home. Just because you're in another state does not mean that you don't want to see these potential properties that you are interested in. You can do it through GIS map. You can do it through Google search, Google Live maps. Yes, you want to cross-reference. You want to use the tax assessor's website. Some tax assessors have a black and white parcel map that is available connected to that property. I showed you via Maryland. Maryland has that. That was so cool. So I was able to pinpoint more properties that did not have an address. I was like, okay, these are the cross streets. This right here, let's go to the big map. Let's make it make sense. So these are some of the tools that you can use, as well as what I mentioned, have boots on the ground. If you can, you may not have family, may not have friends out there, but if you connect with a realtor who has a similar agenda to you, or just want to make a little bit of extra money, and you're like, I'm really interested in here. If once or twice a month, you can go and look at 2 properties for me, or 3, I'll pay you $60 to go just case these out. Just go look at them, take some pictures, and they will do that. They will do that for you. Everybody want to find a way to make sure money. Okay, fine. I found some good people. All realtors are not just big money hungry and deal with just loans. Some of them starting to understand the tax lien game. So that's some of the resources you want to use to mitigate the risk of finding properties that's in bad condition. Okay, so there's some of the things that you can actually look and see physically if the property is in bad condition, and you want to pay attention to the year of how old the home is, and you will be able to figure out if the home is occupied. I mean, simple things. You can look to see if the homeowner address matched the actual residency. You on that assessor's website, the residency, for instance, my business residency is different from where the property is located because I'm in another state. So that person, whoever, if I default, they're like, hey, she don't live here. We got a possibility that she's going to redeem or not redeem based on these factors. Now, if the tax lien has been sitting over the counter for a while, that's some of the risk factors that you want to keep in mind. I am an over-the-counter investor. So I'll be having to do my due diligence, but it'd be okay for me because I'm looking for land. So, but it's when you're looking for land, it's a little bit more deeper research because you want to know if the land's buildable. If it's not, what type of construction is going on in the area. Yes, because as I said, if the land is not buildable, meaning that they need a sewer system and people have to put the sewer system in, it can lower the value of how much you can sell that for. Okay. Well, if it is buildable, you can use that for negotiation terms. Like, hey, city is coming up. There's a school down the street. It's a park. The land is buildable. You have beautiful homes next. Yeah, this property is well worth. This land is well worth $10,000. I'm just talking about on a land aspect. Okay, so the property may be occupied. We talked about that a little bit, a few ways to kind of look into that. I gave you one example. The property may have liens against it. Now, that's one thing I did not mention when mentioning doing your due diligence. What I will give you a hint to is that you can look for the ultimate lien. Okay, you need to look for the ultimate lien because, as you know, as tax lien and tax deed investors, we're first in line and we always on time. What does that mean? Meaning that we are first, we have first priorities over mortgages. Okay. Meaning that taxes on tax lien is superior. If any debt is paid for that home, meaning if the home is in bankruptcy, if the person do want to redeem the property, we are the first persons that get paid as tax lien investors. Okay. Way before the mortgage company. Now, as I mentioned, and I didn't get into details, but if a mortgage is on the home actively, usually the mortgage company pays the taxes. They're not about to play. They're going to pay it. If they do let it get to the tax sale, once you acquire it, you're going to get your money and your interest. Okay. Now, one thing I do want to break down that I did not break down is the concept of interest. Many people think these interests can vary from 5% all the way to 18%, depending on what state you're in. Okay. Iowa has an interest rate of 24%. Oh, 18 to 24. Let me add that. 24%. Louisiana have an interest rate of 12%. Now, that is on a compound base, meaning that you're not going to just get 12% because you invest today and then the person redeem tomorrow. You're going to get the percentage of how long you've been invested in that property. So let's just be honest. I want to tell you that. So it is a percentage. If you hold that for the year, or the time of redemption, then they will pay you the full 24%, but you will get more than what you put in. How about that? You either get more than what you put in or you're going to get the property. Does that make sense? Now, if I'm talking too fast, y'all let me know. Put it in the comments. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. I'm going to address your questions, whatever questions you have, as we go through the broadcast. Now, so looking for liens, one of the most important liens, if I didn't say it, is a IRS lien. That is a lien that we cannot supersede as tax lien investors, meaning that if the IRS have a lien on a property, you must pay it. If you invested in it and you didn't do your research and it has a $10,000 lien and you want to move forward to do anything with it, you have to pay the IRS. You have to negotiate with them. That's the sucky part. That's the sucky part. That's where you don't supersede. And that's why within the course, we teach you how to look up IRS liens. This is public information. This is something you can look for anyone who has a lien on about a property. Okay. So that is a big risk factor. I think it's big because if you're late on your taxes, we would say you ain't late on everything else. So we teach you how to look for liens. After we go over our law, finish off our law review, we're going to get into the UCC registry, so you guys can learn how to look through the UCC registry for debts that has been registered on a UCC registry, and that's where you'll be able to see debts that are attached to properties. Okay, outstanding debts like mechanical liens, construction liens, because some of these contractors as well, they'll put frivolous liens on the home, and you guys will have to clear it up. So these are some of the things that you want to do your due diligence with, because that's what a title company actually does, is secure you from all of that. Okay. So I pretty much kind of told you how to prepare for the tax lien sale. There are many different ways that they host a tax lien sale. They host a tax lien sale in person, online, sometimes through third parties like Bid Assist, Bid Assets. I think, yeah, Bid Assets. Some counties choose to put their tax sale together and then have a third party actually offer their or present their tax sale. So we have went into some states who do have that, and they teach you how to register for it. Sometimes they do have a fee to register. That fee can be $25, $50. But usually what happens is that fee, if applicable, it'll go towards your purchase. Okay. You also want to stand in good standing with the county. Good standing meaning if you bid on it, you pay for it. Okay. You will be restricted from the tax lien sale and deed sale if you bid on a property and don't follow through. That is usually consecutive of what I see on all their websites about bidding and following through. And they said a lot of the county website will tell you, we do not ensure that these properties are clear. We do not. We do recommend you do your due diligence, and they'll tell you we are not responsible if you get a dud or you get into some legal issues. So this is a real game. This is something that you really need to understand. But once you understand it, you can be successful and you can acquire more than one property at a time. Because what end up happening is if you're invested in 5 tax liens, 4 tax liens, like when I started, I was invested in 4. And one was paid back to me with about $100 or something interest, and 3 of them I moved forward to foreclose on. And then at the time when I went to foreclose on the other one, that person was like, hey, we got to pay you. But it was already a mistake on their part, because once I paid for a lawyer in that particular state, Maryland, you need to do a formal foreclosure. They had to pay the lawyer fees. So usually they opt to pay it before that, because they have to pay all of that. So these are some of the outcomes. And then the other 2 I was able to move forward and obtain. Those are some of the properties that I talked to you about. They're part of that. One of them, I just sort of kudos myself because I haven't talked about it. I actually sold my first property by myself. Not by myself, but with a lawyer's help. So I'm really proud of myself. We're going to get into that because I've just been holding my properties. I've just been holding them, doing the process, whatever. But I'm like, it's time to liquidate. But how are we going to do that? Sometimes realtors don't want to be involved because they don't get a big profit. So you have to be very innovative in this game, listing your own property, coming up with your own strategies or how to present it, where you're going to present it, and all the information that you need to solidify the deal, as what we talk about in our sales seminar contracts, real estate contracts. What we talked about yesterday, last week, we talked about an escrow account, the different types. Yes, that escrow account is used at the beginning of the process to sell a home. You want to have the escrow account. You don't know that person, and they don't know me. So, with that goes to say, when you set up that escrow account and they might put down that earnest money, they have that agreement and they have time stipulations of what they have to do to live up to the potential of the sale. That's some of the things that you need to keep in mind when they talk about closing the deal. These are some of the things that we go into as well. Okay. So that is what you want to think about too at the beginning. What do I want to do with this property? Do I want to keep it? Do I want to be a landlord? Do I want to sell it? How I'm going to sell it? How will it work? So we have a lot of different seminars that show you that. So how to profit from a tax lien. One of the things I do want you to know is competition, but it's not. I know people like real estate competition. I don't look at it like that. The buyback team, we have a group on Facebook. I pray that you guys get more active. Y'all get active, then it's down, then it's up, but it's cool. When I do notice when we're getting closer to our free monthly Q&A, we do have more participants, and we do have a Q&A coming up on Sunday. So we will be talking about the free Q&A, and then I'll make an announcement in the group. I could be better though. I can advertise a little bit more, guys. But if y'all want it, it's free. It's right there. Just come look for it. Okay. So we already know we have over 3,000 counties in the United States. 3,000 different counties that you can, 3,000 plus that you can invest in. That's why I say take your time. You don't need to be acting like a shark. Build connections. People can be in your county wanting to invest. You can be in their county. Y'all can be looking at things. Y'all can be exchanging notes. I'm not permitting, or promoting people getting together and putting their money together. That's something different. I don't even ask y'all to give me no money. I do my own thing. That's not what this is about. The education I give y'all is something that is has a price tag on it. Okay. But I got a lot of free stuff for you. So we know we have over 3,000 counties. I always tell you start early. The percentage is, I'm going to say between 8% and about 24% of profit that you possibly could make, depending on the state. You want to understand the redemption time. That's something that is basically the redemption time frame and what you have to do to close the deal. That's kind of something what we're going to get into when I go into a county in Iowa, when we talk about what are the end results, what do they need us to do to get this property. So you want to know what you have to do. In Maryland, it wasn't a closed deal situation. I had to pay for a lawyer afterwards. Lawyer ain't cheap, but they want to retain a fee. But it ended up working out, if you redeem more than one property at one time, like what ended up happening, I was doing 3 at a time. So it charged me about $7,500, something like that. We had a little deal. I told y'all that was the same lawyer I had to sue the county with. He got a little sleepy on Lashley, so he made a deal with me because I was like, no, we're going to fight this to the end. He was like, can we settle? I was like, oh, we're going to have to come up with a deal. So that deal helped me negotiate, y'all. I'm negotiating, okay? So with that goes to say, out of pocket, I had to keep in mind from the beginning of the deal that I was going to be paying more regardless, just a little bit more. But the good thing about investing in tax liens is that you don't have to have all of your money there right away. That's why I talk to you guys about budgeting and saving, having a real budgeting and saving plan to get to your dreams, to get to your goals. That's why I like tax liens and tax deed investment. We don't need 10% of a $300,000 home. We don't need that. Now, if you're doing deeds, I'm going to say come in hot. At least come in with $10,000. That's different. We'll talk about deeds. You're doing tax liens, baby. I done bought tax liens for $500, and I showed y'all. I ain't playing. But they were up to par. There was something that I could do with it. I wasn't just buying junk property. I wasn't just buying it because it was $500. I did my due diligence. I knew what I wanted, So we talked about some of the disadvantage and neglects of the property, how you can, look into that and avoid that. You also, a big thing that is a risk when you're investing is the tax lien expiring. You want to know the time frame. That's what we talk about redeeming. When do you redeem? You got 1 year in Georgia from the tax lien sale. So you buy it, the tax lien sale, they got 1 year to pay you. If they don't, then you can move forward and go get the title perfected in Georgia and get it recorded. God be the glory. If they're not in the home, you don't got to serve them with an eviction, have to do another process. You get possession of the property. Just because you have interest in a property does not mean you have possession of the property. As I mentioned to you guys, don't go to jail. Don't go to these properties unless you got possession of it. Even when you're looking in the properties, like I drive by, okay, I'll be a creep, but I'm not stepping on the property. I'm not doing anything weird. Don't put yourself in that situation. Now, if it's abandoned, you could get a closer look, but just be careful. So tax liens can expire. There's a few ways that tax lien can expire. It can be expired based on you not following through, not knowing when was the redemption time, or it can expire in the case where, like my situation, where I bought it over the counter and it expired the month after the month just before I was about to redeem, and it was because technically, one, I was a little miseducated. I'm gonna be honest, and they presented the sales to, like, the tax lien certificate receipt of payment incorrect. So with the grace of God, because I know contracts, I was able to slither my way into a settlement, because what ended up happening is that when they presented the final receipt to me, it perceived to me, and this was an issue, that the property was transferred to me the day that I bought it. And that was while after it was sitting over the counter. It's never like that, guys. Never, never, never. That's what I have learned. If the tax lien is not sold the day of the tax lien sale, and it goes into a bank, whatever it is, the over-the-counter bank, whatever, the day is considered to start redeeming, and that person has that year or whatever, is the day of the tax lien sale. So don't come in 6 months later and you bought the tax lien and say, hey, I got 1 year because I got 1 year redemption. No, you don't. You got 6 months, because the 6 months already went by, because it was already transferred into the ownership of the county. Even though it doesn't say that per face, when you read how how a property is transferred into the county by law, they own it. They won't say it, but they do. But they have to do some things before they can outright own it. Like sometimes they can take a few percentage of those homes and turn them into opportunity zone homes, offer opportunities for people. As give you an example, where we were in Macon was hosting 2 sales at the tax lien sales, and I was like, what is going on here? I'm confused. And they was like, well, the first list is for homes that's offered over $3,000 and above. That's the starting rate. And I was like, how could they just start it at $3,000 what is the taxes not like that? What is going on here? There were particular homes that they already did their title search, made sure everything was good on the homes, and they started at a base of $3,000. They felt like they was high quality home, and then the bidding started there. So it was a little different. So you want to see what the actual county has to offer, because they get a little creative. They get creative because they need to sell these homes, and these homes should be getting back into our hands. That's why I'm teaching you this. So corporate that's been trying to take over the tax lien sale, we won't let them. Okay. That's happening possibly in Dalton, Illinois, but I'm gonna shut up. Okay, where officials are possibly buying properties that'll tax levy. I'm just saying possibly, and they're not supposed to have the right to actually participate in these sales themselves or their family. There are rules, so you want to know the rules to the tax lien sale. Okay, and I talked to you about the competition. So let's see what else we got. Please hit the like button if you like what I'm sharing. Let me know if you have any questions. We are here to answer your questions. So now let's see what else I got before we get into a little bit about Iowa and other states. So just a quick off the checklist. This is my checklist, y'all. Learn about the state of interest. Learn about the state law, what you need to close the deal. Learn about the potential investments and where you can find out all of the information from. It may be between the tax assessor's office. You want to get the records. You want to look at the GIS maps and the other things that I mentioned to you. Fair market value is very important. You want to know what you can possibly get in the end. If you don't know how to calculate it, or have an idea of how they assess homes, appraisers assess homes, we have a video that highlights how appraising works, what to expect, and how you can do your own. I call it soft appraisal, because you got to compare. You like, wait, this doesn't match my comps. You need to talk to the tax assessors. All like, why did you use that property to compare? No, no, no. Yes, 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 yes. I'm into details. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. So y'all already know. I want y'all to be just as sharp as a tack as well, so you guys can be safe. You guys can benefit and not get the wool pulled over your eyes. One of the most important things I did not mention. You can do what you do, but I don't like it. Any home that have a homestead in attached to it, I don't have any participation in it. Homesteads are headaches. They cause issues. They have liens. These homestead corporations or whoever run them boards are out of pocket. So you can look at that while you're doing your due diligence. It will tell you on the record there's a homestead connected to it. Okay, those are some of the things that I show you. Zoning restriction, environmental information. If you're a person that is interested in investing in rural countries, this is the most important things you can do. Contact zoning, because you don't want a land that is basically unsafe, something that you will never be able to build on. You want something that you possibly could, something that you can hold on to. So zoning is going to be your friend. You want to know what you can do with the property. Sometimes zoning can be converted into commercial and residency. We talk about zoning. We talk about appealing and seeing can zoning be changed. We made a lot of videos, y'all, on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube. So please join the membership. And even if you're not in a membership, a lot of those videos are on hints and tips. Okay. Just because I love to learn and I love to share information. But if you're part of the website, those videos are actually in order for you under our Secure Your Energy section and hints and tips and, members only section. Now, is my investment for sale, interest only, hold to invest? Those are the concepts you want to keep in mind. Do the property have bankruptcy involved? Something very, very simple to look into. Okay. Doing a soft title search. That is, again, what I explained to you. Does the property need any improvements? You need to know, okay, if this property, I probably have to replace the roof. The roof is old. It's not, this is $10,000 I know I'm going to have to put into this property. This is the mindset you want to have. Can I save $10,000? Do I need a loan? Do I need a buddy? These are the things you want to start so you don't miss the time frames for you to move forward, especially when you're dealing with moving forward to foreclose or whatever they call it, redeem the property. Know that you cannot do any improvements on property until you own it. Please don't. Okay. In some states, you may be able to do something when you do improvements after you gain possession, and they have a year redemption period. Because just know, because you got it, they do have a year. Some places have up to 5 years for someone to call back that tax lien. But that doesn't mean that they're going to call back and you're going to lose your money. That means that, let me give you an example. This was one of my issues with myself in Maryland, which took me so long because I had to learn. Now, after the tax lien sale, you obtain the property. There's some heirs. There's people who you put on notice, but maybe they couldn't afford it. Maybe they loved the property. That was their family property. They're like, I'm going to get that property back. They have to pay you everything you invested, your original investment, and all the interest and back taxes, lawyer fees, and everything. This is not typical for people to do that. So you don't have to worry. But I will tell you this, in the middle of a transaction, I'm going to give you a heads up, tax lien investors. If the law in that particular state give the family or whoever have interest 1 year, 5 years, 3 years to come back and pay you and do all that, you may have a hard time getting title insurance. Dun, 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 dun. I can't get title insurance. Well, this property is not worth it. No, 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 no. Understand what title insurance is for. Title insurance is to protect the title, to ensure that if anyone comes back to do what I just told you, if there's any issues or legal issues, they will represent it. But as a title company, they have to protect their best interests. So based on law, I have noticed, and this is in Maryland, they will not insure a tax lien certificate before 5 years because they don't want to have the possibility of somebody coming back to redeem it. And it doesn't matter to redeem it, they're gonna get paid, but actually the title company will lose out because they have to do the representation, they have to do all that. And if they do that due diligence and just didn't give you the insurance, they ain't got nothing to do with it. So they're gonna look at their best interest, but that does not mean you cannot sell the property. Title insurance is something to ensure what I told you, but that does not mean the property cannot be transferred. Let me give you an example. The gentleman who I sold the property to in Maryland, because I held the property for about 3 years. There were a 2-year buffer where the title company was like, well, I'm still not going to insure it no matter if you held it for 3 years and no one came back and you got the best lawyer. There's only a few of us. We just not going to secure it. My lawyer was he was arguing with them and everything. I had to drop my lawyer. He was acting like a damn fool. I said, listen, if the title company don't want to do it, you can't make them. I did my due diligence and then no, it is state law that someone could come back 5 years and they don't want to take that chance. Okay, that's understandable. But that doesn't mean that this person, it can't be transferred to them. It doesn't mean that it's a higher possibility that someone's going to redeem it in these 2 years. Everyone we put on notice, most of the people who connected to this property is not alive. We went through this when we did our due diligence. So these are some of the things that you may have to educate your seller on, because that was like almost a deal breaker. He was like, I can't get title insurance. I was like, sir, no. You love me and you said that you want to buy my tax lien properties. You need to understand what it entails. I'm a very wholehearted person. I'm a very honest person. And I told him, you can check on my credentials. Me and you will have a relationship. That's why I say build a relationship with the people you selling with. Make sure that they trust you, because if he didn't trust me, he would have been like, I'm not doing it. But because the property was close to his property, he's seen me many times maintain the property. He's seen that no one haven't been any issues. He like, I'm going to take this. I'm just going to ride out. So having that education is going to help you sell the property as well. So I shared that story so you guys can kind of understand how these things can affect you and what you should know. You can look for the last land survey if one was done, hopefully was done, or you can look for the neighbor's last land survey. Hopefully they let you get it. You know, some of this is public information and you could kind of like see where your property at. All of this is online. So just giving you a heads up, some techniques that you can keep in mind when you're selling the property. Educate yourself, know what to expect. Maybe I like, for now, I have 3 more properties in Maryland. I may hold them for the next year and a half. So the next buyer could get title insurance. I don't want to hear nothing about title insurance. That was a whole walk and dance with that. But I had to do some research. I called like 5 title insurance companies and say, why won't you? This property, you're making it seem like it's fraud. Like it made it the buyer feel like it was fraud going on. And I'm like, no. But they told me, listen, we gotta look out for our best interest. We don't have time for it. Just in case. What if somebody do? You think we want to pay to have the litigation when the insurance cover it? And I said, point taken. So you want to know the boundaries of the property, know what you can do. You want to know if it's any encumbrance on the property. Do you know where to look for encumbrance? We have a video about encumbrance. That video did not do well, but it's okay, because as you get more educated, you're like, dang, she put everything out there. Encumbrance is something that if it's on the property, a title, then you won't be able to do anything but what the encumbrance tell you to do. Like for instance, encumbrance could involve light companies. You know, like for instance, I have an encumbrance on one of my properties where it is encumbered by the light company. So I'm like, okay, can't build on this property, but we may get some solar panels. I don't know how we're going to do it, but baby, I got a dream. You know, this is what I do. The more I explore, the more I'm going to learn, but tell y'all. So I'm going to be learning about solar panels a little bit more, government contracts. I'm already learning about. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get this property and have an encumbrance and think I'm not about to do something about it. Now, that was one of the first sets of properties that I had obtained. I didn't know to go into the zoning that these things were transparent. That was 5 years ago. Now I'm still reaping the repercussions of it, but I'm more creative, and I'm teaching you guys how to be creative. So I'm gonna keep y'all up to date on that one as well. I already disclosed one of my first properties that I have sold, kind of what I went through, and that's what I went through. One of the main issues was that title insurance, I learned something new. Like, oh wow, okay. So I got to learn the state law related to how long the homeowner has to come back and redeem. So this is something that I want to add to the curriculum, so you guys will know and not make the mistake, or So, is there movable property on the land? And that deals with encumbrance and things like that. And like for instance, okay, I gave you an example. I always give this example. There's a property in Jersey where we have the fair all the time, or we have the circus come down. That property has an encumbrance. I would assume if the homeowner did it, or that landowner, so they can always make money for the rest of their life. So the encumbrance will be with Bottom and Barely Circus. They can come every year at this time and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever profit, and that's an encumbrance on that land. And if that person dies, there's no heirs, and you obtain that land, you will have to be in obligation to that encumbrance, unless you actually be able to prove that it is such a burden and financial issue for you as the new owner that you should not be subjected to that. And we talk about how to appeal encumbrance. Okay. All right. So 46 minutes. I said a lot. Oh, I like to talk. We are 6:44. Now we're going to get into a little bit of Iowa and Louisiana. I want to get to the bases. I'm not going to do detail like I usually do. When I get into these states, I'll be all into the county website. Like, look here. When I go into one of these counties, we just go and look to see what is they do to complete the transfer. Okay. All right. I'm giving myself some rules and regulations, because I start my ADHD kicking. I'll be like, oh, look at that. Oh, y'all, look at that. I have a damn behavior. So now, Ohio is a tax lien state. Now I bring this up because we want to compare and see what will be the closing mechanism to get this property in our possession. Okay, we don't want to just have interest. So the interest rate in Iowa is 24%. It's 1 year and 9 month redemption time from the day of the tax sale. They got 1 year and 9 months for you to be able to even move forward. Okay, does that make sense? Don't let it exceed that. Now, because that it can expire. That's one thing I did not mention. Tax liens can expire. So if you have a tax lien that you bought in 1 year and 9 months, you didn't move forward, that's perfectly fine. The homeowner's probably good with it. But then you have an expiration date on that tax lien purchase for 4 years. In 4 years, you decided not to move forward. That tax lien has expired. You lost your money. So that's called ripening of the tax lien. There's different times of expiration for each state, and you want to know that. But they're not like a month. They're not like 6 months or a year. So you just definitely, who's going to let their tax lien sit that long? But just giving you a heads up. So after the following year of delinquency in March, the homeowner is considered totally delinquent. Interest occurred at 1.5% a month. Okay, so just understand that is the compound interest. So if you invest at the time of the tax lien sale and they get it 3 months later, that's about 6% you're going to get back. Okay, so just understand that. The annual tax sale takes place the third Monday in June every year. This is Iowa. Okay. The second tax sale is known as an adjural sale and is held the third Monday of each month. So it seems like they have it every other week. That's not bad if they have it. And that means if they have like a surplus or more properties to sell, most likely they'll do it on the second sale. Some counties offer the tax sale for sale every month. Please see the county. So they're a little bit flexible in Iowa. They like, listen, we need to get some of these properties out. So some counties will offer them monthly, but it's supposed to be a yearly. Yearly. The opening bids that starts mostly what most tax lien starts at is at the interest, the penalties, and the taxes that is due and how much it costs, any type of other fees that they offer. Not a lot. If there are two interested investors that's willing to accept the lowest interest rate, they will be declared the winner. What does that mean? I picked a good state to talk about. I may not even need to go into the county. Now, I'll give y'all more information. That means that it's a bid down. What is bid down? Bid down means that if the interest rate is 18% and that other person is willing to bid it down and say, I'll take 15%. They'll be like, hey, you're going to go lower. And other guy be like, no, I'm not taking no lower than 15%. that guy becomes the winner. Does that make sense? So that is in Iowa. That's why you need to start in one state, know the state laws, then go into the county, know the regulations of the county. You see how I say markedly different? The law is the law, regulations is on the county. And they're supposed to abide by the law, and the law supposed to abide by the Constitution. Does that make sense? It's supposed to be in harmony. Sometimes it doesn't work out. That's why it's for me and you to know and be able to correct the system. Okay. So now for homeowners to redeem the property in Iowa, the property homeowner must pay 24% to the certificate holder, which is equivalent of about 2% per month or the original investment. However, also they have to pay a delinquent tax amount that is due to the property. So they hit them with another fee. Okay. When the tax investor wins the bid, the certificate is endorsed by a registry within the county treasury office. So it's endorsed by registry. And they said this specifically. And now it's good, meaning that it's transferred over. This not new. You're not the new owner from when the tax sale. So just remember that. Okay. Even though that's just a few days. It's transferred over right after the tax sale. But the way they worded it was very good. That's how they're supposed to word it. Okay, foreclosure process can start after 1 year and 9 months has expired from the original tax sale. Please keep in mind that redemption. Now, this is what it said. Actually expire 90 days after the time of the first service notice to the homeowner, which is filed at the Treasury office. So what happens is that their redemption starts the time that they receive the notice that you receive the tax lien certificate, you the investor. Or they get another notice when it, like, basically the county own it. That's when it starts, okay? So just know that. It says, please, at this time, the deed is delivered to the purchaser by the county treasurer's office. Please keep in mind that issues of the deed suspension and cancellation of all taxes is something that you need to keep in mind. So in Iowa, what it's saying to me is that you don't have to go through the general foreclosure process, meaning that you didn't have to do what I had to do in Maryland and get a lawyer and say, you need to foreclose this. You need to put everybody on notice, do the whole long foreclosure process. Here, this particular state, you're going to have to perfect the title. And I would assume do a title search here and make sure that everybody, there's no other liens on there. And just because you do a title search don't mean that you get title insurance. Okay. Title insurance is done by the title company, but it's good to get a title search done. They probably won't insure it, but if you get a title search, you'll see everything that's wrong with the property, every transfer, and they'll highlight like, hey, something is missing. This person wasn't put on notice the last time the property was sold. This is something you may need to clear up. Okay, so when you're dealing with a title company, it always plays a good part, even if you don't get the title insurance. And that was the part we were playing. What made my person that was buying from me comfortable is that it was a title search done. They saw that everybody was put on notice. And I said to the people, you still can't insure it. You see it's consecutive. Nope. I'm like, whatever. Okay. So that's what a title search is for. I hope you guys are talking about me good. My ears are itching. Whoop, whoop, hit the like button. And that is Iowa. Now, I'm giving you a difference. See, I don't even have to show it because I already wrote down a note. In Iowa, you will have to do a title search. Make sure that the title is good, but you may not be able to get insurance. But that needs to be done. Once that's done, you're going to present it to the county treasurer's office. That treasurer's office will acknowledge that. I think process it through the courts, whatever they have to do, their quick little administrative action, and then the deed will be issued to you. Okay, and that is if everything is clear. All right. So that is Iowa. Now let's get into Louisiana. We're 54 minutes into this process. I hope you guys have the attention span to listen to Lashley talk. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Rumble. Rumble, I see you in the building. You guys have been very active on this page. I was surprised that, it just even having 5 or 6 or 7 people on Rumble, want to learn about tax liens and tax deeds. I find it amazing. Okay. This is for the little guy, y'all. They're trying to lock us out the market. Not I. I'm coming in through the back door. You are too. Welcome to the buyback team. Now, let's get into Louisiana. I think this is going to be kind of like the close off of this particular information. and then we're going to go into reviewing the website and getting ready to show you about our up and coming Q&A that's free that you can sign up for. I just need to know who's going, how many, because that tell me how I'm going to run the Q&A. If it's 2 people there, literally, y'all can just ask me everything. If it's about 10, 15, I usually do a quick 30-minute demo because there's people who newbies, and then we get into the questions and answer. It's usually an hour. It goes into an hour and a half, and it's free every month. All right, so we'll show you how to register for that. And I did put the video up last week of how to register. I didn't put it on Rumble, but I did put it on YouTube. So I will put it on Rumble, okay, after this, if you need just a focus video. So let's get into Louisiana. Louisiana is not a tax lien state. It is a hybrid tax deed state. What does that mean? Okay, it says, but it's still considered a tax lien state. They offer bid down practices. So it sounds kind of familiar of what's going on in Iowa. The interest rates start at 12% and can go all the way down to 5%. Now, let me give you a heads up, y'all. When you do these bid down states where they be like, hey, you can bid down the interest, you can never bid down to 0%. According to the state law, most state law, they at least got to give you a minimum. So look what the state law is. If you go down to 0, you just be the person that gets that little bit of interest, but it's cool. You still have interest in the property, and you'll be able to have some right to try to redeem it. Okay. Oh, my coffee got cold. All right. So we know the interest rate is about 12%, can go down to 5%. Redemption of the property includes 5% penalty plus interest rate at 1% a month. Obviously, because it's 12% for the year. So you just divide it by 12, and that's what you can expect to get if the person redeemed 3 months after, 4 months after. It's not going to be the full 12%. Remember, guys, it's a compound interest. So it starts after the date of the sale. The redemption time starts. There is 3 years. They have 3 years to redeem. So that's the difference. In Iowa, you got 1 year and 9 months. You can move forward. In Louisiana, you have 3 years, meaning if I buy it today, I cannot move forward for 3 years. They're like, why would I invest in Louisiana? To each his own. Everybody want different things, but it get a little bit different when you in the game like this. If you haven't, I'm giving y'all a lot of information because these are things that I've learned. Now, if you're in a state like Louisiana and they have 3 years of back taxes, 3 years to redeem, that means that there's going to be yearly back taxes that's due on this property that you invested into. What should you do? Now, you want to understand how the county practices. Will they automatically make you first in line and say, hey, taxes due, you better pay? Or would they be like Florida and reissue the new outstanding taxes and say, we're about to have another auction. You about to have some competition. That's how Florida works. Florida is a very high volume hybrid state, complicated. We talked about Florida, but other states do not run like that. That's the only thing I saw that run a little crazy. I was like, what? You going to re-auction it off again? Oh my God. And then you want the deed to be auctioned off? If you don't know how Florida works, join our membership. Florida is a little doozy. So, but here in this particular state, you got 3 years. So that means you need to have contact with the tax assessor's office, know when the taxes is due, and get ready to pay that back taxes, okay? Because if you don't, and they don't inform you, they're going to put it on the next tax roll, and you're going to have competition when it comes to redeeming. What does that mean? You know what does that mean? That means that you'll be first in line, that person will be second in line, and then if somebody do it for the 3rd year, they'll be third in line. Each one of you have the opportunity to pay each other's off and redeem the property. But you are first in line, so you have the highest seniority. So if you pay and you want to, you'll be able to knock them off the box to pay those back taxes. But you don't want it to get like that. You want to be on it. You don't have to deal with nobody. Do you understand? So I'm giving you a lot of tricks of the trade. Do you see the difference between Louisiana and Iowa? Huh? So you got 3 years to be in this game. And you're like, I really want this property. And the taxes are probably like $700, $800. Now, I don't know. Taxes has went up, y'all. Because y'all know I'm appealing my taxes. We had to talk about it. Hopefully we can talk about it next week because I'm doing some more research. So when I get my angle, I'll let y'all know. I'm trying to figure out what my angle going to be. Just like I told you, my angle for the case against Maryland was that the way the tax certificate was set up, it was actually false. Like it was false advertisement. It fell under false advertisement. It's like them giving you the wrong receipt for something. That's against the law. That is false. So that the judge actually wanted to see us take it to task. When we settled, he was like, I was ready to see how this was going to work out, guys. And that's what my lawyer said. I was like, he was ready to take this shit to task. So anyway, getting back to Louisiana, the tax sales are held at the county on a government level, okay? And the tax sale usually takes place between January and April. So what is that saying? Yearly, okay? And you want to talk to the county because things got a little bit high value. Some of these counties doing it every other month or every 3 months just to get some of these properties off their bank, or they're being creative, you know. So you want to know if they have opportunity zones, other things available for you. Okay, about an hour into it. I still got a lot more to show you too, guys. I think we're gonna do an hour and a half broadcast. Now, after the petition is served to the owner and all the properties of interest, after 6 months of the date of services of the petition, the title then can be confirmed as per Louisiana statute. So let's just backtrack. So you enter your bid, let's go back. Okay, entry bids start at the cost of the taxes, penalties, and interest. So we know what we're doing at the tax sale. The investor must still, and this is when you need to know. It get a little complicated. This Louisiana a little lazy because most counties do this for you. But Louisiana says the investor must still petition the court in order to move forward with the foreclosure. This is done shortly after the tax lien sale. Now, this is not a conventional foreclosure. You are just putting the courts on notice that you have interest, basically. And that's usually what they're supposed to do after the tax sale. But some counties just work different, which will initiate the redemption time. So that when you go tell the courts that you have invest, the redemption time start there. You see the difference? This is why you need to know how to research. This is why we have a directory. And this is why we show you how to research the law and look into the county for details. So after the petition is served to the homeowner and all the parties of interest, after 6 months of the date of service of the petition, the title can be confirmed as per Louisiana state. Please keep in mind, so they have a 6-month redemption. So after they make you get a hard time, you got to put them on. They got 6 months. They don't got as long as they do. Okay. So you have 6 months after you put them on notice, then it's confirmed into you have interest. Okay. Any upgrades or monies put into the property. Now, at this particular time, I think they add this law in Louisiana for vacant properties. Okay. If the property is in vacant, you can move forward with this because this one is my checklist, but I have more details on the directory. Let me clarify because it sounds a little different. You have a 3-year redemption, and that's if someone is in the home. Let me just clarify. If you go and move forward and you put everybody on notice and nobody respond, and of course, no, 6 months later, you can start moving forward. The place is vacant. Does that make sense? That's probably why somebody would invest in Louisiana. And that's some of the information you can find prior to investing if the homeowner lived there, okay? Or have a realtor drive by, like, does somebody live there? You know? All right, so this is why they have this pending law. Any upgrades or money placed into the property before the total rights of redemption has been expired is not redeemable. What is the total rights of redemption here, y'all? The 3 years. So this is the little doozy. If they come back within the 3 years, they'll just pay you what you have invested in. But in this particular state, not upgrades and things like that. So you want to make sure them people gone. Okay, before you start putting upgrades in that, because they have 3 years. You see, I get a little tricky. It's okay. We're gonna learn this game because it's better than you trying to get into the same property through a conventional loan with $300,000, and then you can literally get in for the taxes and with a little headache. There's not a headache. With a little due diligence. How about that? Okay. and all you got to do is pay the taxes every year instead of paying on a mortgage with interest, which is a death note. How about that? Okay, I gotta make it better because I'm like, damn, this is a lot of work. Don't worry. Once you get it, you got it. Okay. Now, after the 3 years from the date of the recorded deed, the investor may move forward with a suit to petition the courts in the location of the part. The suit will give notice to the owner and all the vested interests within the property. Properties are vested within the parties who are vested in the property has up to 6 months after the petition to serve and redeem the property. So you see where they don't have another 5 years like in Maryland. They only have 6 months after all of this is said and done to come back. So it would assume that Louisiana would give you title insurance for your tax lien investment before Maryland. Does that make sense? But I think they have a lot of vacant properties, so they're trying to give people the chance to get into it and possess the property. But still, that homeowner or whoever had vested interest can come back within that 3-year period and pay. Now, did y'all get an understanding of everything that I shared with you guys? I know that was a lot of information. I went into the starts of the mechanics, the risk factors, how to do your due diligence, how to think like an investor, what I'm looking for, how to close the deal, some selling techniques, things to keep in mind. We went into Louisiana and Iowa. I gave you a whole mouthful today. I really did. So what we're going to do now is show you where you can get a little bit more mouthful from me. Okay. Now, this is free. All right. If you are interested, I do have a Facebook page. This Facebook page, try to be active as possible, but through this Facebook page and group, you can actually, and there's a group attached to it, you can contact me. You know, I'm more readily available through the chat, you know, sometimes. But what I find is that people want full consultations, and I can't do a full consultation over online, especially if it's something that is very detail orientated. So I'm going to say, guys, don't get an attitude with me because I can't answer everything. I am a professional, and I feel like, you know, if you want to do a consultation, I'm going to show you how to do a consultation. I offer a lot of free consultations. With that goes to say, you have plenty of opportunity to get your answers, your questions answered. Okay. So I'm not really good with the inbox and the long consultations, but simple questions, if you put them in the group, which I'm just showing you right now, this is the group. This is the tax lien investment and educational group, primetime home buyers, because it's called primetime home buyers. That's my business, but it wasn't getting a lot of movement because people didn't understand what primetime home buyers was. So I had to switch it up a little bit to highlight that it was a tax lien investment and educational group. Now, a lot of the videos that we stream are on the actual page, and then I'll just share into the group. When you have questions, you can put those questions in here for me. I ask some questions. I promise you guys I'll at least post twice a week. But this is for you guys. So once you start posting and asking questions, I'm going to get in the answer. I have a lot of different platforms, so it is hard for me to manage, but once you guys are active, I'll be right on it, you know. And I did have someone actually posting on my page and my Instagram, but I did, you know, I just fell back from having them do that. I have 2 people that market for me. So I figured like Instagram and Facebook, I really don't need posts every day, but I do have my marketing team, my gentleman. I love him. He's a contractor, young guy. He sends out my emails, so he gives y'all a heads up of what we have going on, and gives y'all some discounts and stuff. So if y'all are part of the mailing list, let me show y'all how y'all can sign up for the mailing list. This is the website. After the website, we're going to go on to YouTube so you can see the membership page, because everything is pretty much different. Y'all have different levels of income, different goals and things that y'all want to do. So I give y'all many different ways of getting this information. This is our conventional website. Right here, tax lien course. This is the intro, full course, over the counter. This is just basic information. When you look at this, this is like going to an online school. It's just going to give you information about what we have to offer, some of the lessons, and I think that was in the introductory course. That's course 1. But what I want to get to today, because we're not going to go over the full website because I've already been live here for an hour. We're going to get into And I'm grateful that my cookies cleaned up, because every time I went to go click on my website, it was looking like my website wasn't working. They like, your bootleg website. It was my cookies. So I had to clean them. Now this is hold on, free seminar. I'm sorry. It is under services. You'll go under services right here, and you'll go under tax lien consultations. Okay. This is where you can find it. It is free, 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 free. Okay. I know y'all love free. Free monthly seminars. So if you want to know when the monthly seminar is coming up, you'll go here into book now. And I'm already telling you it's coming up Sunday. And what you'll do is check availability. Now on this calendar, I hope you can see it. Sometimes the screen won't show you as good. You see this right here? It says the 19th. It's highlighted. So that 19th is when we're going to do our Sunday. The next month should be highlighted. The 16th of June is when we're going to do our next one. And then I think I got them scheduled for July. So it's going to be the 14th. You can choose any date that you're available for our Q&A. This is the free monthly information seminar. I call that, but I can change it to Q&A so you guys don't be confused. So you're going to go right here. The availability is available. It's 11 a.m. on a Sunday. And you're going to go to next. Okay. Next is going to have you sign up if you're not signed up. I'm already signed up. I'm logged in. You're going to have to create an account. We do verify with your phone number and your email. We deal with real people only. I don't spam you. I don't take your information and sell it. I'm a very honorable person. This is so we can build our family up. Okay. You will let us know if you want to receive SIM text or not. You don't have to, but it's good for you to at least get an update before it starts. But you can leave this information and then you don't have to. So you'll add it to the cart. You'll book it. Let me log in because I already have my login. Okay. That's my login. So I'm logged in. Okay. So it has my login, my name, put Lashley. Number 999. Let me see. There's a lot of nines. I think I'm like, that's a fake number. Okay, so book now. Making sure that you can see this process. Thank you for your order, and you are booked. So I will receive that your email is in it, and you will receive a reminder. That reminder, I'll be end up sending you a StreamYard link. I don't do Zoom no more because Zoom cuts you off. So I like to sometimes go in. We go longer than an hour, and if you could do it through StreamYard, it's better. It's a recording. You don't have to have account with StreamYard. You can actually just enter, and then you can have your own account if you want to. All right. So this is some of the information I wanted to share with you today. I'm not going to bore you guys totally. It's not boring with the full rundown of the website, but we can do that in the next week or so. We already have a video up to show you, to give you a rundown of our online. This is an online school. This is what I have created. So everything out here is open to the public for information and educational purposes. There will be here. All of these seminars is the seminars that if you pay for, you can have access one by one. Now, if you don't have access to it, this is what I think I have access to that one. Let me see what I don't have access to. Okay, get full course now. Okay, so I have access to it. This is how the seminar looks. Now, the seminar, these are all of the videos in the seminar. So this is mobile friendly. So if you were to buy a seminar, like this is the U.S. state to state breakdown. I'm giving you an example of how it looks on the website. And then I'm going to give you an example of how it looks on YouTube. This is for that full seminar. Now, U.S. breakdown has all of the states that I have went over in order. In order, baby. And what happens with this, you'll get access to the directory with the seminar. When you enter through the membership on YouTube, you don't get access to the directory. Here, it costs a little bit more for the seminar, so you get access to the directory and you get membership perks on our website. So this is the state-to-state tax lien and Deeds hidden tips. So I just wanted to show you an example of that one. Okay. Now, let's just go to YouTube. YouTube, I know y'all know how to use YouTube, but Rumble, I know y'all left YouTube a long time ago. When you just bring y'all back to the dark side. Stop it. You know, you get a little more freedom on Rumble. That's why I'm on Rumble. Okay, I like more freedom. But here, right here, is the page. Is it up? Okay, good. Ooh, I'm getting tired. I've been talking. So there's the page, Tax Lien D Experts. Now, here is, I want to go to the playlist. These are some of the playlists that we have available. Secure Your Energy Lives, that's free. Understanding Law Investment, there's 3 free videos here. We have a full law seminar that has about 8 long 45 minutes, but this is for the ones who want to get into, start knowing. I got free stuff. Tax Lien Law Review. I think it's one of these I need to get rid of. I think I doubled up. And GIS help. I have 6 videos for GIS help because GIS is not that easy. But then in the course, I go into more detail. This over-the-counter seminar is private. You cannot see this. This is connected to my Eventbrite account. I'm on Eventbrite as well. And I have that seminar where they can access. So this is how they see it. Georgia Tax Lien Sale. As a member, you'll be you'll have full access to Georgia Tax Lien Sale. You'll also have full access to the USA Tax Lien Deed State to State, which has 41 videos. 41, okay. And I think you're gonna definitely have access to the hints and tips. That's free. Foreclosure, I have 4 videos on there highlighting some of the things to expect for foreclosure. And we have 9 videos highlighting deed investments. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys what we have to offer you on our different platforms. We are all over the place. You don't have to always come in spending. I want you guys to be educated. As I mentioned, as I'm closing off, I don't want you guys to think that I'm just here trying to sell you guys a product. I'm going to get into my course. I know a lot of people have been finagled by courses over the years. This has been an issue in the Black community where people were gurus and then all of a sudden, nothing. Me, I love to learn. I love what I do. I came across this investment in a tragedy. I have that video, how I started investing. Somebody broke my heart. Okay. Anyway, it catapulted me into this, which was a blessing. And I said, I'm going to run with it. But I have been subjected to some things. I have been like, whoa, I'm about to lose my money. Oh, look, wait. And they said to me, how can I help other people not go through this? I'm such a geek and I love to learn. I was doing it for myself first. I was like, no, I need to learn all this. I was putting in notes. I was like, I'm about to start making PowerPoints. I'm about to start teaching people this. And I incorporated how I am taught as a nurse. Okay. My original profession is I am a nurse. I have a certificate. It's just a little certificate. I'm calling it a certificate because it's not an actual certification in nursing, but they have a certificate program that allows us to learn about legal nursing consultant. So that is a field that's up and coming in nursing that I have taken to help lawyers go through health aspects of their litigation. And with that had to I had to learn about law. I had to learn about contracts. I had to learn about a lot of stuff. And it kind of catapulted me into learning more. So with all of that information, this is how I put this course together for you. I also take continuing educations all the time. It's ridiculous because I'm not just a regular nurse that works just one job. I'm a traveler. It is the ridiculous part about being a traveler that, you know, when you look for a job, you have to do all that in service when you start a job. I have to do that almost every 13 weeks if I don't renew the contract. So with that goes to say, I have learned how to learn. I have learned the platforms and how to put presentations together just by doing that. So I wanted to share that with you guys so you could get to know a little bit more about me, people who are new to this platform, you know, and are like, how she know what she doing and and she thinks she an expert. I've been through the fire. I'm still going through the fire and I'm still investing and I love it. This is why I can talk to you for a whole hour and 20 minutes just off the top of my head. So to conclude, we already know, please sign up. We are going to have a Q&A on Sunday at 11 o'clock. I'll put the link at the bottom. What we will be doing next week, just to give you a heads up, we're going to go into, again, a flashback of the type of deeds, okay, to know. And some risk factor with deeds. I already told you about those quick claim deeds. That's how they be trying to scam people. Don't fall for it. So we're going to get into those ways to transfer deed, and we're going to get into one state in particular, deed transfer procedures in Virginia, because Virginia is a deed state. So we're going to use that as the example to solidify this information, because I always want to give you information and give you an example. But within that example, we're going to look into the law. Okay, and that's going to catapult us back into law and mitigating risk factors for this summer. Okay, so next week, what are we going to do? How to transfer the property, the different ways how a deed can be transferred, some of the risk factors, as well as giving you an example how to transfer Virginia's the tax deed procedure for Virginia. We're going to review that. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. If not, I am going to sign off. I appreciate you guys. I want to say, guys, stay motivated, stay blessed, not stressed. Even if it's getting on your nerves, just woosah, because you're going to have to handle it.
You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're going to do it to try and be the best. Not be better than other people, be the best for you.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time, because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.